Hello, this is Starshot here to welcome you back with another Let's Play of Legend of Heroes. We last left off entering into an airship that led us here to the Royal Keep, and we took down a bunch of the different enemies here protecting the Queen so that we could finally rescue her. I ended things soon, just before the final boss of this whole mission here. Now, what's special about this boss is that this one's optional, actually. So you can either choose to fight him or to just simply let yourself die and you'll still move on with the story. But I plan to show you what it takes to defeat one of the hardest bosses in this game. Now, I already have a few things set up for my orbments to try and better utilize everyone's skills and to kind of just optimize them to their peak capacity. So I have some defense, some attack. This boss here doesn't have any specific elements to take advantage of, so the biggest advantage to have would be just either a strong single target or a strong arts attack to use. So this is kind of my setup for Estelle here. Chloe, I try to keep her more minded as our healer, of course, but she still has the option to have her single target's Shadow Spear, which is always good to use. And then I pretty much tried to do optimize Scheherazade a little bit like Estelle, but with her specific orbment slots in mind, since she can only have the 2 wins in those slots there. So she still has all her wind stuff with a few other things. And then equipment-wise, make sure, no matter what, that your characters have at least a way to prevent muting and confusion, because this boss will do this a lot to you. So make sure to buy the Glam Choker and Lily Necklace. You can actually pick them up from our friend the maintenance pilot up here. You know, that's where you can buy those. For Estelle, I actually have a Grail Locket, which pretty much prevents all status elements, which is really good. But I also have the Glam's Choker and Lily Necklace for Chloe as well. And one other thing to take note of is you want to change your battle position. So the biggest thing you want to make sure to do is to make sure that all your characters are as far away from each other as possible when you start. And then once the battle starts, you'll want to move them around to keep them far away from each other. So that's kind of the initial setup you might want to try to do if you want to take on this boss. I'll of course show you the battle and the cutscene involved with that. You know, pretty much all you have to do is go through this door and you're in the boss battle. So with all the setup and preparation ready, our characters are at full HP and EP. If they're not at full CP, that's not going to hurt your chances of beating them. But it is a good idea to kind of have plenty of CP, or to try and save it if you can. So just to hopefully make it easier. But let me go ahead and show you the battle then. And you'll be right out here at this walkway. So this is the point of no return. If you have anything else you need to do, better do it now, because once you're past this point, you're in the boss battle. So, but with all the preparations done and ready, let's go. Are you alright, Grandmother? We're here to rescue you, Your Majesty. Claudia, Estelle. So, you're finally here. I was getting quite bored with waiting. Lieutenant Lawrence, what are you doing here? My duty is to guard Her Majesty. It is truly any wonder that I'm here? Enough of your crap. No matter how strong you are, we've still got 3-to-1 odds on you. This one certainly seems skilled. Just who is he? Commander of the Intelligence Division Special Ops, 2nd Lieutenant Lawrence Belger. Former Jaeger and Scout for the Colonel. So, you've done your research. I see. Most impressive. But what else would one expect of the daughter of an S-ranked bracer? One Cassius Bright, I believe? My master's rank has never been public knowledge, and yet you are not one to be trifled with, I see. I know you as well. Scheherazade Harvey, also known as the Silver Streak, C-ranked. And very close to ascending to B rank, it seems. Please, release my grandmother. If you were just fighting in the employ of the Colonel, there is no further call to do so. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. You see, only the surface like that of a quartz grid, with no concept of the forces at work within. What? Take heed, Princess Claudia. The nation is like an enormously complex orbment. The people are like the units of quartz that provide the power and organize the system, and the territory which houses them is the frame. If you lack the means to understand how it works, then you are unfit to be its queen. An interesting metaphor. You may even be right. I certainly never expected to hear a theory on the nature of politics at a time like this. Pardon my rudeness. You've no need to hear my useless sermonizing, Your Majesty. I don't really understand this all that well, but the general gist is that you don't plan to let the Queen go, do you? And if I do not, obviously we'll take her back by force. Indeed, after we've come this far, we certainly can't go back now. You don't give me the impression that you will bear us any ill will. But I will bring my blade to bear on you if it will get my grandmother back. Good. In that case, let me show you a little of what I can really do. Huh? Silver hair? No, it's ash blonde. I guess that you were born somewhere up north. Indeed, you are correct. Though it's closer than you might think. What? I trust you will not be offended if I choose not to go easy on you simply because you are women. Shall we then? Oh great, a critical right off the bat. But at least it was only that. So, this is pretty much, as you can hear the music, a very special boss battle. You can choose to either not fight it, or you can try and win against him. And if you do get bonus BP points for it. So, but the first thing to really do is to try and move as far away as possible from your other friends. That way, when he uses his special craft maneuver, he won't be able to hit all your party members. And then here's Zero Storm. It's his weakest attack, and as you see, it stopped me from casting my art. But, you know, as long as you have other party members who can cast arts as well, then you should be able to still get one off every now and then and lower his health. But since Estelle's a bit low already, we'll go ahead and just give her a quick heal with this one here. So there aren't too many special things to worry about here, but as I said, out of all of the enemies we've faced so far, this is likely the only one that you'll lose a lot if you don't prepare beforehand like I just did to try and take him down. You know, separating yourselves from your other party members really does help in kind of keeping his more stronger attacks at bay. And while it is annoying, it's better that he used that ability than to actually cast any of his other moves. And another thing to note is that this is one of the longest battles you'll face because he really likes to heal himself every now and then if he gets too low. So, but this is the best tactic I've found in trying to deal with this boss in general. But as I said, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I always like to kind of challenge myself every now and then in trying to show what I can do against the certain enemies. I've always liked doing the optional bosses in a lot of the other games as well. Like, of course, I feel like I'm missing, or I never did do the special boss for Final Fantasy IX. That's definitely one I might plan to do later on when I get the chance. But yeah, here's that heal that I was talking about, so you definitely need to try and get some of his moves off if you want to be able to bring him down low enough at all. But of course you can speed this battle up a bit if you just fast forward using the turbo mode. But this is pretty much what I've found works pretty well and keeps your party members alive is the biggest point. You know, if he just keeps zero storming you, then, you know, that's not as bad as his other abilities. Because he does have one move that causes you to take almost 1,000 points of damage and hits everyone who's close by. And then, of course, you saw the healing. And then he does have the ability to mute your party, which pretty much stops them from casting any arts or spells at all. So that's kind of why I have those glam chokers, I believe. Let's see. I should probably just do a heal here just to keep things high for now. Or no, I should be fine for a bit longer. But yeah, like, I remember when I played through Super Mario RPG, I did fight Kulex, I think it's called. You know, that boss battle. And I remember how difficult it was. You definitely need to get all the special items and make sure to have your healer around, that's for sure. I'm trying to think. I also faced off against the special optional boss in Tales of Symphonia. You know, getting all the darkness arms. And be able to take him on. He was definitely a challenge. Of course, there are some bosses I feel like are a bit too crazy sometimes. Like, it's a bit ridiculous how powerful they make some of these enemies. And sometimes you have to be like level 99 and have all the best gear and things like that. Like, I'm pretty sure I was close to that when I took on Sephiroth in Final Fantasy, or not 7, but in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, in both Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I haven't tried taking on the other special bosses in the other Kingdom Hearts though, because I did some of them I didn't know existed before, but I did see some of the videos that the other people have done on those special bosses and just how crazy those things are. Like, I would never in my wildest dreams dare to take on some of those special bosses in Birth by Sleep, I believe. Or Dream Drop Distance, maybe. Actually, I'm not sure about Dream Drop, but... So, yeah, a lot of the special bosses, like, I'm kind of hit or miss on. But actually, if I did take on Hades, I believe, in Final Fantasy IX, so I was able to get his special item shop, so I was able to send some of the best gear you could get in the game, which was pretty cool. Like, I think that's the nice thing for special bosses. You can get something awesome from them that you normally couldn't. Like, I'm trying to remember what were some of the best items I ever picked up through special or optional bosses or things like that in my gaming stuff. Because, you know, that's always the nice thing with these games, is being able to provide you with fun things you normally couldn't. And I should probably heal Scheherazade at this point with how low she is. But yeah, here's that healing. I'm pretty sure there should be a method or even an arts here or there to try and be able to stop him from healing, but I'm not quite sure how that's done. And, you know, It does take a bit of luck trying to kind of keep this going, and it helps to have a lot of the EP charge items to help around as well. But I'll see if I can find a good time to use, say, Scheherazad's CP maneuver, or I forget what it's called, but use that and try and get some extra damage in, and hopefully, you know, that he stops healing himself for a while, and just keeps maybe trying to interrupt us, I guess. Which is annoying, but it's not the worst thing he could do to us. Okay, so there is a critical coming up for Estelle. So, can I get this Napalm breath off first? No, it looks like not. So, I'll just go ahead and attack him, since he was close enough. And then when that critical comes up after his turn, I can just take over that and use it to do a lot of damage to him. So yeah, but this is pretty much the best way to get damage in if you have any CP saved. Especially if you can set it up with a critical buff. But yeah, you can see why he wants to heal up, especially with how low he gets, even though he has 6,000 HP, which is pretty ridiculous. Okay, and he also does this Earth Guard EX thing here, which makes it so that he's immune to at least 2 attacks. So the best thing you can do is try and hurt him with a smaller attack, you know, and try and get rid of it before you try your stronger attacks. Like here, his Volcanic Rave, which would have done a lot of damage, sadly did nothing at all. And here he goes healing himself again. So yeah, this isn't going to be a short battle, not by a long shot. So, as I said, best thing you can do is just keep going, you know, make sure you have plenty of items to help, and this is going to take a while. So, let's see, so, oh great, he healed himself to full. I'm pretty sure speedrunners would probably be pretty annoyed at trying to deal with him as well if they try to go for 100% completion or something. But then I'm not really sure what the record for beating this game is and what conditions some of them go under. Man, sadly we're getting pretty unlucky here with all the heals he keeps doing to himself. I guess I'll try doing some Volcanic Rage, since that does do a little bit more damage. And I guess I'll see if Arrow Storm does any more than what I was doing before. And I would use her craft, but sadly all it is a recovery one. And it does it in area, which doesn't cover the other 2 members, so it's better to just individually heal them when you have the chance. But yeah, so I'm trying to think of what other games I've played with special extra things you can do in them that net you some pretty fun stuff. Because, like, I know there are some games with cheat codes. Like, I know the Konami code is pretty famous, and at least helping you out usually, or giving you something that makes the game a bit easier for some people. Like, you know, up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start, I believe the code goes. It's just too bad that Konami doesn't continue using that, just as a, you know, point of reference, but apparently cheat codes have kind of just gone out of style, or people are just aren't doing much with them lately. And then, let's see, so what games, you know, of course, actually with the Konami code, I think I've only ever used it on Contra once, just to get the extra lives, but oh well. So, let's see, what other games have I played with extras? Because I know the Kingdom Hearts is pretty good for that. Plenty of fun stuff there. Let's see, what else? I guess I'll ask this to everyone out there on YouTube. What is your favorite optional boss or extra piece of gameplay that you didn't have to do for the story, but you did because you were just having that much fun with it. Because I know, like, Zelda Breath of the Wild, like, I know you don't have to do all 120 shrines, but I plan to do that when I get the chance. And actually, I should probably heal Chloe here, since or Estelle, since she's getting a bit low now. Let's see, he's starting to get low again, so I might have a chance if I use Estelle's CP move here, even though there's no buff for it right now. And just in case, I'll go ahead and heal her here. But let me go ahead and interrupt him before he does anything, and see if I can do enough damage. There we go. Ha! So that's pretty much how you defeat Lawrence. As I said, he only gives you some extra BP if you beat him. But as I said, he's definitely pretty hard if you don't play it the way I did. You'll see for yourself if you ever give it a try. So, good luck with that, and let's continue on with the story. Amazing! I hadn't realized that you were this strong. Huff, huff. You were holding back in the finals, weren't you? We should never have even stood a chance. I'm impressed we beat this monster. I can't believe it. Estelle Bright, I apologize for treating you as an unworthy opponent. Perhaps one day you may reach your father's level. What? However, that day has yet to arrive. Ah! Claudia! Estelle! That will be far enough, Your Majesty, if you please. They are not mortally wounded, I assure you. Your eyes betray much. You are so young, yet you have endured such hardships already. Your Majesty, you are hardly qualified to feel pity for me. You who know the name of Hemel. It's almost time. I will return Her Majesty to you just as you wished. Huh? If you wish to stop the Colonel, you had best hurry below. You may well already be too late, but you may be able to prevent any further needless damage from occurring. Below? You cannot mean beneath there. However unpleasant you may find it, I was certain that you would understand the significance. You can show them the way. And now, I bid you adieu. Hey! Is he insane? He's gone. Did he drop into the lake? But the water's undisturbed. Just who is this guy? Grandmother, are you hurt? I am unharmed, Claudia. He never laid a hand on me. But more importantly... Estelle! Joshua! Thank Adios you're alright! You too. Since Colonel Richard and Lieutenant Lawrence weren't in the castle, I started to worry. The red helmet guy was here just a minute ago. What? He jumped over the handrail and, well, who knows? He's some kind of monster, alright. I see. Praise Adios for keeping you safe. Joshua. Your Majesty, it's good to see you unharmed. Well met, Lieutenant Schwartz. Indeed, I owe all of you a debt of gratitude. You are far too kind, Your Majesty. We're just glad to be of help. I don't think this is over yet, though. We've dealt with the special ops inside the castle, but I'm afraid there are bad tidings. Army reinforcements from every province are on their way to Gransel. From the sounds of it, the Intelligence Division is somehow maintaining control. I see. Time is short, my liege. I must ask that you board the ID ship and escape at once. No, I cannot do that. The situation has grown more dire. Colonel Richard must be stopped, whatever the cost. What do you mean, Your Majesty? Last night, I finally understood the true intentions of which the Colonel spoke. He wants the Shining Ring, the Arulo. I think that's how you call it. I have no idea. Arulo? Why does that sound so familiar? It's one of the Septerons that Adios gave the ancients. The legends say that it has the power to control nature itself. Oh yeah, Professor Alba told us about it. But I thought that was just some silly story that was passed down through the church. Huh? So it does exist. And it lies somewhere within Liberl? According to an old legend of the royal family, the Shining Ring shall bring catastrophe, condemning the souls of men to eternal purgatory. It has been sealed within the interval of the blackest dark that we might retain our humanity. Condemning the souls of men to eternal purgatory. Well, that's not a little ominous. Those words have been passed down in the royal family as a warning. Perhaps this Shining Ring truly was so dangerous that the royal family's ancestors sealed it away. Also, there was that massive orbital reaction that was detected beneath the city. If one takes both of these into account, this Shining Ring must be sealed underneath Gransel. It makes sense. Yes, and I believe that the Colonel has reached the same conclusion. There remains no details of what exactly the Shining Ring is, but I believe there will be grave danger for all should it be restored. It could be a disaster on par with the great collapse of legend. No. Incredible. Excuse me, Your Majesty? Lieutenant Lawrence told us to go underground, but what did that really mean? There's a mysterious room within Gransel's castle, where nothing, not even a grain of rice, has been kept in generations, forbidden since long ago. Oh. You mean the treasury? No doubt about it. There are signs that someone came through here recently, and frequently at that. That's not all. The tracks also suggest that someone brought in something very heavy. I hold the key to this room, but there is a spare. It's likely that's what was used to gain entry. It would seem that we must investigate. And Queen Alicia produced a key from her dress. This elevator wasn't here before. Where'd it come from? Perhaps it's a piece of Colonel Richard's new construction. In which case, it probably goes down to where this Shining Ring is sealed away. Yes, and that may have been the true goal behind the coup from the very beginning. They could never have built such a thing without occupying the castle. That's crazy. It's definitely a possibility. In any given country, a royal sanctuary is generally regarded as inviolate. To break that trust would require quite an aggressive plan. Regardless, we'll probably need to use this to get underground. Let's test it to see if it works. And Joshua began to inspect the elevator's control panel. What is it? It's locked with some type of orbital energy. It looks like it won't work unless we can find some special type of quartz to put in it. What? No, we've come so far. I'm going to put the screws to one of those special ops soldiers. One of them might have the key. Yes, that sounds wisest. No, that won't be necessary. Huh? It can't be. Oh, Professor Russell. Queen Alicia, it has been quite some time. I'm glad to see Estelle and Joshua doing well. Hold up, Professor. What are you doing here? I thought the Intelligence Division was after you in Z's. And on top of that, how did you get here? Grandpa, where'd you go? Hey, enough with running all over the place. Is everyone in your family as big a pain in the ass as you? But, Kate... Oh. Tita? I knew it. Estelle, Joshua... Aw, Tita. Thank goodness. I was hoping I would get to see you again. We heard at the guild that you two were fighting at the castle. I'm so glad you're alright. Tita. Thank you for being so concerned. It's good to see you well, Atgate. But what are you doing in the Royal City? Well, we hid out for a bit, but then we happened upon a cargo freighter bound for Gransel. And I figured, what the hell? The best place to hide is in plain sight, after all. Once we got the lowdown from Elnon, we came straight to the castle. Oh right, got something for you from him. And we even got payment for the missions we just did. And the extra BP. Including the to rescue a queen, we should have gotten the +5 we got for beating Lawrence there. Is this okay? I mean, we haven't reported in. Looks like he got filled in on the general gist of things from a guardsman messenger. So what brings your amateur asses here? Me? I figured we could at least beat up the remaining special ops guys. Huh? Wait, I know you. It's been a while, Atgate. Thank you for your efforts at the lighthouse. Chloe, right? What's a student doing in a place like this? It seems my granddaughter is in your debt, which means that I also owe you my thanks. Don't worry about it, it's all part of the job. So what's up, Granny? You work in the castle? Did these numbskulls rope you into helping them? You barbarian! Do you realize to whom you're speaking? You stand in the presence of Queen Alicia of Liberl. Huh? You know, she does look sort of familiar. You really should loosen that bandana of yours, boy. It's obviously squeezing your brain too tight. Say that again, old man? Queen? So that means this lady would have to be Her Majesty's granddaughter, Princess Claudia. We call her Chloe, though. Chloe, meet the professor's granddaughter, Tita. She's like our little sister. I see. It's a pleasure to meet you, Tita. I'll be happy if you'd also call me Chloe. Yes, ma'am. I mean, Chloe. Aw, what a little cutie pie. My name's Scheherazade. I'm Joshua and Estelle's mentor. You can just call me Shahara. Okay, Shahara. And you can call me Uncle Oliver. You shut up. Anyway, this elevator seems to be giving you some trouble. What seems to be the problem? And what in Adios's name is going on here? Well, and Joshua briefly relayed the gist of Colonel Richard's plan and told the professor about the Shining Ring, aka the Arulo. Oh, come on, this is some kind of joke, right? You're not serious. I can't believe such a thing would be buried here. And now it's happened just as I was afraid of. So if we use this elevator, we can get where we need to go. Yes, but it has a special lock. Made of quartz, apparently. Ah, that. Let me have a look at it. This is my own design. It uses a key card. Or a card key. You can't undo the lock unless you insert the card that's embedded with the identical quartz. The professor produced a small cable and slid it into the card slot. However, this is an early model without any type of failsafe. So if you feed it just the right amount of orbital energy... Woohoo! Nice going, Prof. I'm impressed. Why am I not surprised? Now, shall we descend? We've got trouble! Wait, what is it to report? A division of the regular army has arrived at Gransel's main gate. It looks like they're being led by an officer of the intelligence division. What? And 3 military patrol ships are approaching from the lake. Your orders, ma'am? Of all the damned times. Perhaps I should make an appearance in order to persuade them. Grandmother? I will go to the terrace on the roof and address the arriving forces. Lieutenant Schwartz, make your preparations. But what if you are attacked? I believe in them. Misguided though they are still citizens of Liberl. If they see me and hear my voice, do not believe they will attack. Your Majesty. All of you. It is with boundless regret that I am asked you to shoulder this burden. Please, Your Majesty, you don't need to say anything else. We'll do whatever it takes to stop the Colonel. Please, leave this to us. Yep, even the kids coming along. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it looks like we have 8 party members. Since I don't think the professor will be joining us in our fight. Okay, now the music got even more epic. What the heck? They're ruins from the ancient Zemurian civilization. As old as these appear, I don't get the feeling that this place is completely dead. It seems to function just like the equipment in the tetracyclic towers. That ain't all that's moving. I get the feeling we've got some pretty nasty creatures around here too. Wow. The structures nearby look to be made of modern materials. I suppose Colonel Richard had some construction going on. I suspect you're right. Building anything at this depth is rather impressive. The ruins are even larger than I suspected. If we're not careful, we could get terribly lost. It may be best if we split up. 2 groups, one for scouting and one to stay on standby. What do you mean? Basically, we establish a base camp of sorts in a secure location. That's the gist of it. The scouting party will find a way through, and the ones on standby will be available to switch out as needed. Once the right path is found, everyone moves forward to establish a new base. Makes sense to me. In that case, I believe that our current location would be the best place to start from. Estelle and Joshua, you'll be the ones to decide who's going to be on which team. Wait, us? But you two are at the very heart of this operation. I doubt anyone will object. I agree. As do I. I'll follow your lead. Bah, like I have a choice. I'm in. I have faith in you to make the right choices. Sounds fine to me. Joshua, what do we do? No need to think about it too hard. If things get tough, we can always turn back and switch people out. Oh, well then. So now we get to choose 2 other members to join us this time, so we at least have a party of 4. So it's up to you, kind of, how you make up your party. I think I'll bring Tita along, actually, because her cannon is pretty useful to have. And then, I think for our last one, I feel like Estelle is a pretty good healer on her own, so I think I'll just bring Zin, or... No, actually I think I'll bring Scheherazade, and she has some pretty good arts attacks for us to use. And there's one of the achievements you can get, you know, ladies man, if you have an all-female party apparently. Estelle, I'm going to send Sieg to accompany you. When you find a suitable spot to use as a base, please send him back. He'll be able to show us the way to whenever you are. Scree! Good idea. That way, the search party won't have to backtrack to get to the others. It's up to you, Sieg. Scree! Well, that means we're counting on you to handle the scouting. Just be on the safe side, I've prepared a complete set of tools should have everything you need. If you need to modify any ordnance, just let me know. Okay. We'll be off then. And with that, I'll be ending things here, so join us next time when we explore the ruins underneath the Royal Keep. Until then, have fun gaming.